Imagine this. You're in the ring, giving it your all, and suddenly everything changes in an instant. That's exactly what happened to Khalil Rountree Jr. during his UFC 320 match against Jiri Prochazka. But here's where it gets controversial. Rountree Jr. had the upper hand in the first 2 rounds, but Prochazka's explosive finish in the 3rd round left fans and fighters alike in awe. So what can we learn from this dramatic turn of events? Let's dive in. The main event at UFC 320, held at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, was a spectacle to remember. Khalil Rountree Jr., with a record of 14-7 in MMA and 10-7 in the UFC, dominated the initial rounds against the former light heavyweight champion Jiri Prochazka, who stands at 32-5-1 in MMA and 6-2 in the UFC. However, Prochazka's relentless aggression in the 3rd round turned the tide, leading to a brutal knockout that left Rountree Jr. reeling. You can watch the highlight here, https://usatoday.com/sports/UFC/10/4/UFC 320 Jiri Prochazka knockout Khalil Rountree Jr. Video highlight title /8653179707. As Rountree Jr. reflects on the fight, he's identified several key takeaways that can help both fighters and fans understand the nuances of high-stakes combat. In a recent interview on the Jackson podcast, Rountree Jr. shared his thoughts on the importance of balance, both in fighting and in life. A big learning, especially from this fight, is just how hard it is to achieve balance, he said. It's the journey of fighting and of life, and just in general, like balance. Because I do have these kind of polarizing sides in a way, and it's my job and my journey to find that middle ground. Looking back at his performance, Rountree Jr. noticed a significant difference in his energy levels on the day of the fight, compared to his previous match against Jamahal Hill in Baku, Azerbaijan. On that occasion, he felt more relaxed and natural, which seemed to contribute to a positive outcome. In contrast, on the day of UFC 320, his energy was elevated, though he didn't label it as good or bad. This heightened energy could have played a role in his performance, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. And this is the part most people miss. Rountree Jr. also addressed misconceptions about his strategy in the fight. Contrary to some narratives, he didn't intentionally avoid taking Prochazka to the ground, as he had done in his previous match against Alex Pereira for the title at UFC 307. No, that's a very bad narrative, he clarified. I refused, with a D, to use it against Alex. Yes, it was for the belt and everything. But I promised from the moment that I even called for that fight that it would be for the fans. So that fight, I had an agreement. Look, we're gonna go toe-to-toe. I didn't say for the rest of my career I'm never shooting a takedown. That is something that has just been totally taken out of context. Rountree Jr. explained that the absence of takedowns in this fight was more about instinct and the flow of the battle. The reason why it didn't happen this fight is because that just wasn't my natural instinct in that moment, because everything was good until it wasn't, he said. He also highlighted the physical demands of fighting in the light heavyweight division, where fighters often weigh in at 205 pounds but can rehydrate to 220 to 230 pounds by fight time. All it takes is one left hook to the temple to get your body to start. Equilibrium thrown off, he noted. You can do your best to control, but sometimes things happen that you can't control. The turning point of the fight came when Prochazka landed a powerful left hook. From that moment, Rountree Jr. struggled to regain his composure and survive the onslaught. There was a left despite his efforts to recover. Prochazka's relentless pressure made it difficult for Rountree Jr. to turn the tables. Now, Rountree Jr. is focused on learning from this experience and growing as a fighter. This is a lot of growth. This is the growth period of my life, he said. As he moves forward, he'll be working on strategies to handle similar situations better in the future. But here's a question for you, dear reader. How do you think fighters can better prepare for those unexpected moments in the ring? Do you agree with Rountree Jr.'s approach to balance and energy management? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's spark a discussion.